If you have passed the age of 60 and you have started getting out of bed at night to use the bathroom more than once, or if you feel like you never truly empty your bladder completely, or perhaps you find yourself standing there for a long time, waiting for the flow to finally begin, I want you to pay very close attention. These symptoms are not just a normal part of getting older that you have to accept. They are actually clear signals that something deeper is happening inside your body. It is something much more common than most men realize. As a doctor who specializes in prostate health, I have seen this situation over and over again, and I am here to tell you this. Your prostate is trying to get your attention. In many cases, it is not your actual age that is causing the trouble. Instead, it is your daily habits. There are small, quiet things you do every day, perhaps without even realizing it, that make your prostate grow larger, feel heavier, and become much harder to manage. But here's the good news. Once you identify what these habits are, you have the power to change them. And when you make those changes, you give your body a real chance to find its balance again, reduce that uncomfortable pressure, and get back to feeling comfortable. In this video, I am going to explain 3 everyday habits that slowly and quietly make the prostate get bigger, and I will show you what you can start doing instead. These habits are very common, even among men who think they are healthy. But when you repeat them day after day, they put a lot of stress on your urinary system, cause irritation and swelling, and slowly push your prostate out of its healthy balance. You will learn exactly what these habits are, why they matter so much, and what tiny changes you can start making today. If you are tired of that constant discomfort, the feeling of urgency, or feeling like your bladder is in control of your life, then this video was made specifically for you. And let me say this very clearly. You are not stuck with these symptoms forever. Your body has an amazing ability to heal itself, especially when you stop doing the things that are constantly irritating it. The first habit that slowly makes your prostate larger over time is something very simple. It is something almost all of us have done, especially when we are out running errands, busy at work, or simply do not want to use a public bathroom. It is the habit of holding your urine for too long. Now, you might think that waiting a little bit longer while you finish a task or drive home is not a big deal. But when this becomes a regular daily pattern, and you hold it for long periods before finally letting yourself go, you are creating a lot of pressure. This pressure isn't just in the bladder, it affects the entire prostate area. You see, your prostate sits directly under your bladder, right at the very bottom, and it wraps around the tube you pee through the urethra like a soft, flexible ring or collar. Now, imagine that tube is like a straw with a ring around it. When that ring becomes swollen or tight, it does not take much to slow the flow down. When your bladder gets too full, whether it is from a long car ride, sitting through a movie, or ignoring the urge while you shop, it starts to stretch both upward and downward. That downward pressure pushes right onto the prostate. It is like leaning your full weight on a soft sponge that is already sensitive. The more that bladder stretches out, the more it presses into the prostate tissue that is already working hard. Over time, this repeated pressure causes small but very important changes. That prostate, which should be flexible, becomes irritated. The tissue starts to get thicker. Swelling begins to happen. And for many men, this constant squeezing becomes one of the hidden causes of an enlarged prostate. Men who regularly wait to use the bathroom, especially those who think they are being tough or just waiting for a better time, often develop what doctors call a blockage. This is when the bladder is ready to empty, but the path is just too narrow. The bladder muscle then has to work twice as hard to push urine through a tight, narrow channel because the prostate has become big and stiff. This is not just uncomfortable. It can actually make your bladder weaker over a long period of time. This habit might feel like no big deal, but to your body, it is like trying to force a balloon to hold much more air than it was ever built to carry over and over again every single day. Eventually, the shape and the way it works will change. And unlike a balloon, your bladder and prostate do not just pop. They try to adapt, and they don't always adapt in a healthy way. If you have the habit of waiting until you absolutely cannot hold it anymore, I want to gently ask you to change that. Start listening to your body again. Go to the bathroom when you first feel the need, not when it becomes an emergency. Going a bit earlier takes the pressure off and helps your whole system stay in a healthy rhythm. This might seem like a tiny change, but over time, it can lift a huge weight off your prostate and give it the room it needs to calm down, heal, and start shrinking back toward a normal size. Now, let's move to the second habit. This one often surprises men because it seems like it has nothing to do with peeing at first glance. It is the habit of ignoring constipation. When your bowels are full of hard, backed up waste, especially if you aren't eating enough fiber, that physical pressure pushes directly against the back of the prostate gland. This pressure isn't just there for a minute, it is constant. It is like having a heavy brick resting against a soft sponge all day and all night. It puts stress on the tissue, it slows down healthy blood flow, it irritates the nerves, and it creates a low level of swelling that doesn't just stay in your gut, it spreads to everything nearby, including your prostate. And here's the most important part. Over time, that constant swelling is one of the main reasons for what doctors call BPH, or what most men simply know as an enlarged prostate. But it goes even further than that. Constipation also messes with your internal chemistry. When waste stays in the body for too long, it upsets the good bugs or bacteria in your belly. When that balance is broken, it creates swelling throughout your whole body, which affects your immune system and your prostate health. The modern way of eating, especially as we get older, tends to be full of white bread and pasta, low in fiber, and often contains too much processed food, cheese, and red meat without nearly enough water. These choices slow down your digestion, dry out your waste, and cause your bowels to get backed up, sometimes without you even noticing it right away. What starts as just feeling a little slow turns into a bad cycle. Constipation creates pressure. That pressure makes the prostate swell. That swelling makes it harder to pee, and the swelling makes all your symptoms worse. So, if you aren't going to the bathroom regularly, or if it feels hard and difficult to go, your prostate is likely suffering because of that imbalance. Luckily, the fix is something you can do yourself. You can start by slowly adding more fiber from natural, gentle sources. Think about eating more cooked vegetables, fruits like pears or prunes, whole grains like oats, and simple things like chia seeds or ground flax seeds. These foods do more than just make it easier to go. They also lower the internal pressure on your prostate from the inside out. When your bowels move easily and completely, your prostate finally gets a chance to relax. It is like clearing out a crowded hallway. Everything moves much better when the path is wide open. Now, let's discuss the third habit. This one is incredibly common, especially during retirement when life slows down and we spend more time relaxing. That habit is sitting for long periods of time without moving. Whether you are relaxing in front of the TV, sitting at a desk with your tea, looking at your phone, or reading a book in your favorite chair, the hours can fly by very quickly. Before you know it, your body has been still for way too long. What feels like resting on the outside can actually cause things to get stuck on the inside. You see, the pelvic area where your bladder, bowel, and prostate are located is designed for constant, gentle movement. It survives on good blood flow. It needs that movement to bring in fresh nutrients and carry away waste. But when you sit for hours without getting up, the blood in the lower part of your body stops moving well. Circulation slows down. Oxygen and fresh energy stop flowing freely. The body's natural cleaning system, called lymph drainage, becomes weak. This means your body is not as good at getting rid of toxins and waste that cause swelling. All that waste starts to pile up right where your prostate lives. The prostate is a soft and very delicate gland. It was never meant to handle being squeezed and held still for hours. Like any part of your body, it needs fresh blood to stay healthy. When that flow is blocked for hours every single day, the prostate can become swollen and irritated. Over time, this helps cause that slow, silent growth that leads to an enlarged prostate. Men who sit for a long time every day without moving are much more likely to have tension in their pelvis, constant low-level swelling, and eventually, a larger prostate. It often happens without you noticing any big symptoms until the pain, the urgency, or the interrupted sleep shows up months or even years later. This is why I suggest what I call movement snacks throughout your day. These are small, very simple bursts of easy activity, just enough to wake up your blood flow and remind your pelvic area that it needs to stay active. You do not have to go for a run. You don't even need to get sweaty. Even something as small as standing up every 30 or 40 minutes, walking across the room, taking a few deep breaths while moving your legs, or stretching your back can bring life back to that part of your body. Think of your prostate like a sponge. If a sponge never gets moved or squeezed, it starts to get hard and collect dirt. But when you move even just a little bit, you help that sponge stay soft, clean, and healthy. Movement is not just about exercise. It is about keeping the very center of your body alive and vibrant, especially those hidden parts you cannot see, but that decide your comfort and your quality of life. Even just a few minutes of mindful movement every hour can keep your prostate much healthier for many years to come. So, now you are aware of the facts. There are 3 quiet, everyday habits that slowly make your prostate grow: holding your urine for too long, not eating enough fiber, and sitting for hours without moving around. These don't seem like dramatic problems, but that is exactly why they are so dangerous. They move in quietly without making noise, and over many years, they create a world of discomfort and frustration. But here is where the power is. Every single one of these habits can be changed gently and with care. You don't need to change your whole life all at once. You simply need to pay attention to how your daily choices affect your body. I have seen men in their 60 seconds, 70 seconds, and even 80 seconds make their symptoms much better. They have reduced their trips to the bathroom at night, gotten a stronger flow back, and felt much more comfortable in their own bodies just by changing these basic behaviors. So, if you have been feeling frustrated or even a little bit worried about what is happening down there, take a deep breath. You are not alone, and you are not helpless. Your prostate does not have to be the boss of your life. You can take care of it just like it has been trying to take care of you. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and share it with a friend. Sometimes the most important changes start with just a little bit of new knowledge. Thank you for watching, and please remember, your best health is not a thing of the past. It is in your hands right now, and the best days are still ahead of you.